I'm back. It's been a minute, I know, but we're gonna be cooking. I got a bunch of bananas that need used up. So we are going to make, it's kind of like a banana cobbler, a banana dump cake, kind of, sort of. Maybe a cross in between the two. Never heard of it. I saw someone else doing it online, and I'm like, oh, I might try that. I have a banana cake mix we're going to use. They used, I don't know, a homemade cake mix, actually. No, we're not that, we're not there today. Not yet, anyways. So, it calls for a stick of butter. So, I have my stick of butter. I'm going to throw it in the oven. And I'm going to let that melt while we get cooking on this, get going on this. So the recipe I saw, I think it was Hillbilly Kitchen. She said use 6 to 8 bananas. Well, I have, these didn't even get touched because when I bought them, I bought 2 sets and I don't know. The one set got 8 like in no time, but these ones, no, that was a different, I don't know. Anyways, these bananas used up, they smell wonderful. I try my very best to only use organic bananas, and I'm not big on organic stuff, but the main thing between an organic banana and a regular banana is they gas regular bananas. And that just makes me think, yeah, World War II, mustard gas, blah, 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 blah. Gassing something just doesn't sound appetizing, so I started to buy organic. And Garrett and I are the main banana eaters in the house. And we both love the organic. We think they have more flavor. But you do have things with them going bad quicker, which is why regular bananas get gassed. Now there's some really bad spots I'm just kind of taking out. You don't have to. All what it is makes it sweeter. It's like that lady was using bananas that were a lot more fresh than this. Okay. Well, we might come back to these 2 frozen, or we might just be doing these ones. What was I saying? Because she don't like spots on her bananas. Well, the more ripe the banana is, the more sugar it releases. And that's why you only need a half a cup of brown sugar, because you have ripe bananas. Now, if you are worried about sugar intake, well, yeah, then you want your bananas to not be as ripe. But no, Garrett and I, we'd never ever eat them like that. Let me show you. Right here, this is how we like to eat our bananas. Or at least I do, and he doesn't complain. I like mine with some green on them. I can't stand when they get all sugary. Back when Tim used to eat bananas, he would have liked them like this. He liked sugary bananas. So, we're going to put in those bananas. Like I said, it's not a science, especially when you know bananas are all different sizes. I would like to get those other ones thawed, and what I may do, see, they're just a pain to peel when they're frozen like that. But I guess I can stand here and peel them and talk to you. So, I almost did this in my fuzzy bathrobe because it is getting chilly out there, and it's kind of rainy and drizzly, and I've been, since I got home from getting my oil changed today, I've been kind of hanging out in it. And then I was like, well, they probably don't want to see me in my bathrobe, so I'll take it off. But one thing I do this time of year, I did it all winter last winter. I've always done it in the winter time. But one thing I like to do, I like to light some of my oil lamps because they just make the place feel all warm and fuzzy, even though it might be a little chilly. Today is the first day I've actually turned on my heat. When I came home, I'm like, brr, it's cold in here. Poor Garrett was walking around in his heavy-duty terry cloth to the floor bathrobe and with jammies on underneath or sweats or something. And I looked at the temperature and it was only like 64 degrees in here. So I was like, yikes! It's time to get it up because it was already noon or so when I got home. Tell you what, make an appointment for oil change. Those loony people. I made it for 8:45. I've seen my husband make oil changes. I know how long it takes. I go to the 15-minute oil change usually. Sorry about that noise. And it takes them 15 minutes. That's it. My appointment was 8:45. I didn't get out of there until after 10 o'clock. Yeah, crazy. So we have our bananas, a half a cup of brown sugar, and yes, I will have the recipe in the description so you don't have to write this down as I'm going. But I did end up with 7 bananas, a half a cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I already got it out. And we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla just to kick up the flavor a little bit. I don't think we probably have to. And that wasn't even quite a full teaspoon. But, and I've probably told you before, we love Watkins cinnamon. That's our favorite. So, I'm going to just stir this up a hair. And I'm going to go put this. Oh, you know what else we need? We need some liquid, don't we? We need a half a stick of butter. That lady used more than a half a stick of butter, but I'm going to start out with a half a stick because we are, as you know, trying to watch our fat intake, and let alone it's going to have enough sugar, let alone the fat. If I see I need more liquid, I will add more butter, but I want to really try it with a little, not a whole lot. Okay, so we're going to go put this on, let this cook up. I put it on 6. I don't have any clue what they did with it. Okay, so we're going to do the cake mix. This is really a dump cake, and you don't really have to do everything I'm doing. You could just do your cake mix and your butter and your milk. You wouldn't have to add any eggs, but I have a lot of eggs. Got a lot of eggs in the fridge, plus I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 11 out here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my eggs, and you can, if you want to. Just because you don't like to leave off ingredients, you can do that too. Lots of people are like that. You can use a white cake mix, a yellow cake mix. Chocolate might be yummy. You know what else might be yummy? Gingerbread. Oh, gingerbread and banana. But I love gingerbread. I think anything goes with gingerbread. But this is going to be kind of caramel-y. Like caramel-like because of that brown sugar. So maybe. And all the butter. But... and then I'm going to make some banana pudding, but I'm not going to have you watch that. Everybody's done instant banana pudding. Okay, back to this. I know, this bowl was really small. If I was doing a cake, I would have got a bigger bowl. So anyways, we got the butter melting in the bowl. That's also going to be our no-stick oily thing. We're going to add our milk. Now, you could do any basic crumb topping or cake topping that you do for any cobbler. For peach cobbler, for blackberry cobbler, whatever. If you have a favorite, you use that. I got this when they were changing out. I got this cake mix for $1. It's good until January 17th, 2026. They were just changing seasons, that's all. And so I picked that up and I thought, oh, this would be a great way to use it. We love banana. I've made banana cakes before. And so I just thought. So we're going to add in those eggs. And like I said, what was in there? If you are using a cake mix, please don't be like, well, I did what you said and then mine was terrible. You have to go by what's on your cake mix. Some cake mixes take 1 egg, some take 2. Mine took 4. I wanted to use the eggs. You don't even have to use the eggs, okay? But I wanted to. And since this is more of a dump style cake, we're not going to worry about getting it super duper smoothed out and mixed up, because you know when you make dump cakes they kind of mix up themselves, you know. So yes, and I'm hoping that now that the weather's cooler we'll get back in the kitchen more. It just was such a stinking hot summer. I don't want to be in the stinking kitchen. Okay, so we got that done. Let's go take a quick check on our bananas. Oh yeah, they're not really doing much. I do think 1 stick of butter is going to be good because I see liquid in there already, or a half a stick. Butter's not even melted and there's plenty of liquid. That's the science of fruit. As you cook fruit, it releases its juices and sugars. Okay? The butter's melted in our pan. And I know, you guys know I make a mess. Butter's melted in our pan, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that out and put this in while we wait for those bananas to cook up just a little bit more. That is a thick cake mix. 1 cup of milk, 4 eggs, and a half a cup of butter. But the butter's in the pan, so that's probably within it out. You don't want to burn your butter. I did not burn mine, but I do have some brown, and that's okay to have it brown, but woo, I just got spit at. But if you burnt your butter, throw it out and start over. I should have checked on this. Okay. Everything in my house is at an angle. Oh well. Okay. Usually when you make a dump cake or a cobbler, you put your fruit in, then you put the cake mix in. Well, this, you put the cake in and then it's supposed to bubble up through and cook up through the banana. And this is, you know, I hate Pyrex. They don't put what size your pan is anymore, or maybe they used to not to. It has some code and it says something like 2 liters or 2 quarts or something on it. I'm guessing that this is a 9 by 13. That would be my guess. And I'm just going to kind of scooch this around to be about even. Okay. And you know, if I wasn't on camera, I'd lick that. Let's check on the bananas again. I don't know how long you're really supposed to cook these up. I guess we want the butter in there to be melted. So, but I'm going with it because I'm not going to keep you here, and I don't want to have 100 edits in this video. This is going to be like a live. I'm not going to edit it. It's going straight up like it is. So we're going to want to pour this slowly on here because we don't want to get spit at by the banana mixture. Okay? And we're going to scrape out our pan. Cooking, baking is a science. Yes, I know that. But it's not an exact science unless you're doing something like food preservation. Then it's definitely a lot more scientific. But you can see it's already, the cake mix is already starting to come up and the bananas are already starting to cook. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in the oven. I'll bring you back when it's done and when I have my banana pudding made, and we'll do a taste test. Maybe I'll even get Tim to taste test for you. See you in a few. Dun, 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 dun. Friends, loved ones, neighbors, subscribers, and viewers, welcome back. It's taste test time. So, this is what you want it to look like. Golden brown. I could not wait for Tim to come home. So I'm going to take a chunk out, pull it away from the sides a little bit. And the toothpick came out clean. And all that, it smells wonderful. And I forgot to bring over my pudding. So how about that? I got the pudding out of the fridge. 1 minute. Oh, yeah. Oh. See? I always forget something. I tell you that every time, don't I? So this is the banana pudding. Take a spoonful of that. Put it over here. You think my little table is weird set up? I think I'll tell you about it. Let's taste this first. Okay? Mmm. The cake is very spongy. Let's take a little pudding. I guess that's a lot of pudding. Some cake. And some banana. Very good. You don't need the banana pudding though. This is yummy on its own. And I don't even think you need vanilla ice cream or anything, because this is so good on its own. Very good on its own. So I told you I like to have my oil lamp out inlet. So this is my candy dish that I keep things like the dog's nail clippers in and stuff. And I put these rocks on here because we have a house full of kittens. And I didn't want them ripping everything down and starting a fire. Then Tim brought in my old iron because he was worried the rocks were just going to roll away. And so, since we have a bunch of kittens, we gotta do what we gotta do to keep everything. These are actually geos. So I think they're decorative. I don't know. I'm weird, I know. But if you tried this recipe, have any ideas on how to make it better, you go right ahead and leave me a comment. If you make it, let me know. Like this video, share this video, all that jazz. Let's help this channel grow. Love you, friends, family, neighbors, viewers, and subscribers, especially my subscribers, because you're not related to me. You don't have to come here. Bye-bye for now.